Today, what I thought I would do in my presentation is take you on a little bit of a deep dive into Agile Assets, talk to you a little bit more about our company. In this conference, you've been hearing a lot of technical presentations about the software, about how each of our clients are using that software to benefit the public, to maximize the return on investment for the infrastructure. So I wanted to share with you a little bit today about Agile Assets, the company, and where we're going, what our ideals are. And so I will do that through a little introduction here, and then I'm going to share with you our vision and mission, values, and some of the core principles that we focus on to help us move forward in the infrastructure asset management field. Then I'm going to talk about the customer client satisfaction survey that we undertook earlier this year. It was very insightful, and we appreciate all of you that did participate in that survey. So I wanted to share with you some of the results of the survey, and more importantly, some of the actions and activities that we're going to take in response to the survey. It was very helpful for us. We also used that information to develop our strategic plan for 2012 and moving on into the future. So I'll segue out of the customer satisfaction survey and address with you what are some of our objectives for this year and the goals that we've established for ourselves to meet those objectives. And then I'm going to touch briefly on some initiatives that we have in the product management area. As we continue to grow and expand the Agile Assets product suite, we are undertaking a more formalized approach to product management, making sure that our product and our technology remains at the state of the art and provides the service and the customer satisfaction and the return on investment to maximize public benefits that we want. So just to start off, we've established what our core purpose as a company. And right now, we believe it is to maximize public benefit. And that is done through our vision to provide the world's best and most widely used infrastructure asset management software. This is how we believe that we can maximize public benefit. And we do that through some values that we as a company take to heart and we feel are very important. Integrity, we've got to have that to be able to live up to the expectations of our clients and to provide the positive energy and the positive results that we want. Dedication is extremely important. Our employees are dedicated to the software, they're dedicated to their clients, and they're dedicated to the company. And that's what helps us to stay focused and moving forward. Commitment to success, commitment to client satisfaction. Innovation. That's how we will lead this industry and provide the best possible software, the best possible service, and provide it with technology that is at the forefront. Innovation is what we've been focusing on since we were initially established, and we think we provide some of the best, most innovative software, services, and techniques in the industry. And we do all of that towards customer satisfaction. That's what will make us successful, is if we make you, our clients, successful. So our mission focuses on a number of components that relate to these things that make up our core purpose, our vision, and our values. First of all, we want to provide enormous value. That is critical to do that. And we do that through analytical software that optimizes the limited funds, those available budgets, the public money, our money, towards providing public infrastructure, the public investment. Now, we are committed to delivering a very comprehensive system so we can take care of all of your infrastructure. help you manage each component that is important in making up your programs. It's highly configurable because each of our clients are unique. They have different environments, different materials, different organizations, different way of operating, different terminology. So the software has to be very flexible to be able to handle those unique needs of each of those clients. And we partner with our clients. We provide service and one-on-one interaction with our clients wherever possible to be able to understand their needs, to transfer the technology, and provide a self-sustaining system that will allow the agencies to be the most successful that they can. And we do that with what I believe is a very diverse, rich cultural history at Agile Assets. We have people from all over the world, many different countries. We have software developers, civil engineers, other types of engineering, mathematicians, economists. All types of people have come together to make this infrastructure asset management software and deliver the service we need to be able to do that. And we do that so we can lead the field of infrastructure asset management, and we want to be the global standard in that regard. Our competitive advantage based on all of these things is that we are the brand of infrastructure asset management software for organizations that seek to maximize the return on investment, because we believe we provide outstanding service and we are always striving to improve on that service, and we deliver a proven solution that has now been in operation in many of your agencies for a number of years, and we do that to meet each client's unique needs. So I wanted to provide an additional view into the company. The last user group we had was 18 months ago. And since that time, the company has grown by 50%. Our official head count now is 68 as of May 1st. We're bringing on a couple of new people in these next week or so. And in fact, some of them are here at this conference. But we're up to 68 people and still growing. This is a view of our organization chart 18 months ago. And it's not so much that you need to read this. I know it's fairly small there, but I wanted to contrast that to the organization chart today. And you can see it's expanded wider and it's gotten deeper. There are more people involved. In 2010, this shows a map of the locations of where our projects were and where our project staff were based out in client areas. As of 2012, we've added a number of staff and a number of new clients, including New York, California, West Virginia, and expanded the Raleigh office significantly. So we have more people on board to serve you, the clients, and to help get this system up and running and working well for you. Now let's talk a little bit about the client survey. This is the second time we've done a client survey, and we did it in order to understand kind of how we were doing towards our mission, towards our goals. Because what is most important to us is client satisfaction, to make sure that the software is used and effectively used, or else we won't be able to maximize public benefits. It's very important that we understand how well we're doing, and in areas that we're not doing well, to pinpoint those and to be able to work on improving those areas. So we undertook this survey, and we feel like it was very successful. We learned a lot of information, and we incorporated that information into our 2012 strategic plan. So after we go through the results of the survey, I'll talk to you a little bit about what we learned from the survey, and then I'll go into the strategic plan and tell you how we've applied some of those things towards our goals to help us improve and serve you better. So the survey was sent out to 160 key users from all of our domestic and international clients, and that is city-county clients, state-level DOTs and state agencies, as well as clients that we have internationally. We modified and expanded the survey that we had done in 2010, and the new survey increased the focus on software quality and on our delivery of services, because those are where the rubber meets the road, if you will. That's how we can determine if we're doing what we need to do. There were 3 primary categories with 18 statements, and there were 5 possible responses to each of those statements, ranging from I strongly agree with the statement down to I strongly disagree with the statement. Then we asked 2 open-ended questions to get a little broader range of feedback. And then we provided an optional second survey that focused on our product offerings, what we currently have, the interest in those, and some new ones that we have in our strategic vision to see what the potential interest for some of those new products. We kept the survey open for 6 weeks. We did 1 email follow-up to make sure we get as many responses as we could. And we got a total of 67 responses, which I felt was pretty good. It would be better to get more, but 67 is a good number and gives us a nice range of clients. We did offer the option of being anonymous, with the option to list the agency and the name of the person doing the survey, which if that is provided, that gives us more insight into what's going on and is able to help us target improvements if we know the agency and specifically if we know the person that are making comments. And just under half the respondents did identify their agencies, and we recognized there was a trade-off between having the respondents identify themselves versus making sure we get honest responses. Some people just don't want to be critical if you know who they are, so we allowed for that because we do want honest feedback on what concerns there are out there. This is a list of the clients who actually identified themselves by client, and it was a good number, and we appreciate every one of these agencies that were able to step up and say who they were. It gives us some ideas to be able to go and focus on specific needs of these agencies, as well as taking that feedback and looking at it as a broad area for improvement or a broad understanding that we're doing well in certain areas. So let's take a quick look at some of the results. A set of questions focused on software quality and performance. And you'll see the orange is strongly agree with the statement. The blue is agree. The purple is neutral, meaning, well, it could be there or not. The red was disagree, green is strongly disagree, and then the brown was not applicable. And we were very pleased to see that there were no strongly disagrees across any of the surveys. There were a few reds, disagrees, and those caught our eye significantly. And there were a number of neutrals, which we don't like to see as well, because that means, well, we're not really doing an excellent job, and we want to do an excellent job. But we were pleased to see that most of the responses were in the strongly agree or agree category across a number of these areas. To summarize kind of the results from the software quality and performance components, what we did is group the disagrees and the neutrals, because neutral is not good. We want it to be good. So we grouped those as areas for improvement, so we could focus on those specific areas. And then the strengths were the strongly agrees and the agrees. And we were happy to see that 86% of the responses would recommend the software and services of AgileAssets to others that asked about it. 86% are satisfied with their systems. 80% believe that the business decision-making has been enhanced by the AgileAssets products. 74% are reporting and communicating has been enhanced by the system. And 72% report that the software provides a positive return on investment. And that is a critical one to us because that's where we see the maximizing public benefits come in. If we can provide a positive return on investment, then that's a goal that we're really shooting for. And I know it's hard to actually gauge what benefits we're getting. What are the actual objective measures, the money value that you can get out of this software? Intuitively, it's very high, but actually putting a dollar value on the return on investment is hard to do sometimes. Now, we did identify a couple of areas for improvement. Only 30% said that the agency staff are not embracing the software. So that is something that we wanted to pay attention to. And 34% thought that the software was not as easy to use as it should be, even with training. So 30 and 34% is not that much. I mean, that means 70 or 66% thought it was easy to use and they are embracing it. But what we thought that these are areas we needed to take a look at. How can we help the agencies embrace and use the software better, and how can we make it easier to use and or improve our training around these areas? The next one was on the communication of AgileAssets employees back to you, the clients, and our support services. And in this case, you see there were a few more red disagrees here and a few more purples, neutral. And the numbers of strongly agrees and agrees, although still good in most areas, showed a little areas for improvement down toward the bottom there. So we took strong note of that, and first of all, in the strengths, 88%, very high number, thought that the technical expertise of the AgileAssets staff was top-notch, that they were doing a good job there, and that they're courteous and patient. 83% said that. 80% thought that our staff is committed to your satisfaction. But areas we identified for improvement, 42% believed that the delivery of upgrades or fixes was not adequate, was not up to par. And that's a very high number. And what we believe is that the level of growth that I talked to you about before, 50% increase, big clients coming on board, maintaining quality is difficult to do. And we're focusing on how we can grow satisfactorily, maintain quality. And so this survey is helping provide some very interesting, good information for us. But delivery of enhancements, also 31% showed that was problematic, and 29% thought that the level of support since project delivery was not up to where they wanted it to be. So although that's not a majority, it's still much more than we would like to see in these areas. So these are areas that we targeted for improvements. The next area is project delivery and management. You can see here again a good number of agrees and strongly agrees, more neutrals than we would like to see, and again a few disagrees. So to summarize this, 72% were overall, they were satisfied with their project delivery. 70% were satisfied with the managerial oversight of the project team during the implementations. But 34% thought that the quality of the knowledge transfer or the training that they received was not up to where they would like it to have been. And 26% thought that the communication during the project delivery process could be improved. So again, areas that we thought could be targeted for improvement. So we undertook an analysis of these survey results in a little more depth. And we developed a color-coded spreadsheet to help us see visually what the results were of the survey. The numerical values were assigned on 25-point breaks, so 0 for strongly disagree, 25 for disagree, neutral was a 50, agree was 75, and strongly agree 100. The aggregate scores for these then ranged from a low of 42 for one client, up to a high of 100 for a number of clients, thought that they strongly agreed with all of the statements. So those made us feel good, but the ones that showed that they disagreed or were neutral were the clients that we thought we really needed to address and talk to directly, along with continued touching and interacting with all of our clients, which will remain a priority. The highest scored category was that the AgileAssets staff have the necessary skills to address the inquiries and requests. There was an average score of 86 on that. The lowest category was on the product upgrades and fixes not being delivered in a satisfactory manner. So that's an area that we've really focused on improvements. This is a show of the spreadsheet we looked at. This is not intended for you to read what the categories are, but we sorted the spreadsheet by the areas for improvement up top. So all of the reds were the disagrees, the yellows were the neutrals, and then the dark green and light green were the agrees and strongly agrees. And we identified that by question and then by the agency and, if possible, the individual within the agency that answered the survey. And then there were two questions were posed on how can our company serve you more effectively, and are there any additional services or products that you would like us to provide? These questions were used to give us a little more open-ended feedback that was not structured around this particular questions. And what we found was that we got comments about the project delivery process, especially the upgrade process, that it was taking too long, that there were too many bugs when the upgrade was delivered, and that in some cases the release notes were not adequate for the release, and that the support team responsiveness could be improved. So these were very good, critical feedback that we thought would be very useful to us. Relative to software features, there were three main areas that were highlighted by a number of users, that they wanted to see improved reporting functionality and reports, a better global search function to be able to find things within this broad, complex system that goes across multiple assets. And then use of mobile devices, and which doesn't surprise us, and we've already been focusing on how we can improve and expand the use of mobile devices. Then on software functionality, a general asset card window, and then more work on multi-objective functions in optimization. Then we asked in this optional second survey, we listed a number of our products and asked, is anybody interested in learning more about these products? And we got a little bit of interest there. But of more interest was the new products that people were interested in seeing. And here the red is very interested, and the purple is somewhat interested, and green is highly interested and willing to partner in a pilot project. So you see the top one with the mobile web field data collection, you can see there is very much interest and a number of clients that are interested in partnering with us to make improvements and develop this mobile application technology. So that is certainly something that we took note of and will be focusing on. And then some areas that there was little to no interest in, and probably because we're going to state DOTs and we asked about railways and railway and highway grade crossings, there was not as much interest there as in other areas, or also in the environmental component. So to kind of summarize the results of the survey, comparing it to the 2010 results, there was a 3-time increase in the number of respondents, which we felt very good about, having 67 respond to this survey versus only 23 back in 2010. And the quality and expertise of the AgileAssets staff, again, that got the highest ratings. It was a slight decrease to 86% versus 88% a year and a half ago. And the opinion of the knowledge transfer and training effectiveness actually improved significantly. Although it's still much lower than we would like it to be at 69%, it was a significant increase from 53% a year and a half ago. So in 2010, we asked about the system value, and we kind of changed the question this year to system return on investment. And we got slightly lower results, but still very favorable. 76% thought we were getting good return on investment by the software versus 79% before. So the overall average score actually increased to 75%. There was a perceived positive level of support and staying in contact. That remained unchanged at 74%. And the added second survey to gauge this interest in the suite of products. So based on the survey, we've undertaken some steps and what we're planning to do based on the results. First of all, we reviewed these as constructive feedback, good information for us to take forward. The written responses to the open-ended questions provided good insights to potential issues and concerns. The greatest opportunity for improvement was found to be in the area of providing enhancements, upgrades, and support for the software that's in place. And that makes sense to us because the way we used to provide support is the project managers and functional leads that implemented the software were able to continue supporting their clients. But as we've grown, that becomes less and less possible. So we have established recently a dedicated support group of professionals. And they are learning, they're getting better, they're learning the clients. And as I mentioned early in this talk, each client is unique. Each client has their own database, their own configurations. So for these guys to be able to support all of the clients in a very productive way, that takes a lot of time and effort, and we're putting a lot of resources into being able to do that. And I'm very proud of our support group and the way they're standing up and taking ownership and responsibility of the support function. And the feedback from this survey provided good information for us to say, yes, that is an area we need to continue to focus on and invest in. The second survey identified clients desiring product information and requesting demos, and we've been contacting those clients and helping them out wherever possible. And we identified some process improvements and actions within each of the business units. Then we linked the results to our strategic plan and the tasks that each of us in the company are going to be undertaking over this next year to forward the vision. And we do strategic planning, but this year we have undertaken a little bit broader way of doing that, and that we developed our goals at the highest level, which I'll share with you in a few moments, and then we cascade those goals down from me as the president down to all of my direct reports. Those goals are modified to fit their areas of supervision and oversight, and they cascade the goals down to each of their employees and so forth. And that allows everybody in the company to understand their goals and how they relate to the overall company goals and objectives and our vision to better serve you, our clients. And we did coordinated outreach to specific clients that identified themselves to be able to address their specific needs. So when we do this survey again in about 12 months from now, if you will identify yourself and your agency, then we will make sure to provide dedicated service to you and address your concerns directly. When you don't identify yourselves, we can only take the general approach to, okay, we need to improve in this area, but we may not be able to know a specific agency that is having these problems. And then finally, at this user group here, we wanted to provide a high level of feedback on the survey, and that's what I'm doing now. We want to demonstrate to you our commitment to client satisfaction, and hopefully that is being accomplished through all of the interactions you're having here at this meeting. And as we move forward, you will see that in the actual results, and reinforce our commitment to quality. Quality in our products, quality in our service, and quality that you can take forward to maximize public benefits. Relative to the mobile applications, we are committed to advancing the mobile application technology. We have 2 applications out there that are existing Windows mobile apps. We will continue to support those. We're currently evaluating similar applications for the iPhone and iPad, the iOS operating system, and for the Android smartphones and tablets. And we are dedicated to be able to provide applications in these new platforms. We see that that is the way things are going, and we're going to push for iPhone, iPad applications, and possibly Android as well. There's a user group panel during this user group meeting, and we'll have good discussions on what has been done by some of our leading agencies in the mobile area. And based on those discussions and feedback from you, that may help us set our direction. So please participate in those panel discussions, and we want to hear from all of you of how you feel about the mobile applications, where they can help you, what operating systems, what types of things you want to see in mobile applications, and so forth. For our software, we got some good feedback on how we could improve here. And where clients identified themselves, we've already contacted about 50% of those clients. As a result of this survey, we identified 3 enhancements that have already been approved and pushed forth into the software, and 2 others are in the approval process, trying to figure out how we're going to get that done and designs. And that has actually increased our annual enhancement list by about 5%. So we already had a number of things we were working on, but based on the survey, we said, okay, here's some additional things we really need to add in there. And those include some general enhancements, report header modification ability that Louisiana wanted, a super insert like for work orders to include assignments and locations of the work, and a number of clients identified wanting that. And then 2 additional pavement management system enhancements, and that has to do with the optimization, improving the ability of the optimizer, which is already the state of the art in the industry, but Quebec wanted a few additional things which we have our operations research group working on. Some other general enhancements that are in the process are the added search capabilities and a drill down filter that Texas had requested. And Idaho is the one that requested the search features. So some more next steps relative to upgrades. We have recommended that AgileAssets begin running the same tests internally before we release the software that our clients will run when they do the work. And the project managers are contacting clients for validation on those tests and what they need to run. Client management, we've established a client management group. Steve Varnado is heading that up, and he's coordinating on-site visits to assess the satisfaction with the products and services, and to do product demos and to share best practices, and mainly to address issue resolution. Where there are issues, we want to make sure we understand those and get them resolved. We're also continuing to work on quality and improving our process quality manual within the company. For support, we have increased the staff for primary support team. A new member is being added in Raleigh to support clients better on the East Coast. And we've increased our second level of support by adding Lynn Moser in to kind of oversee the support group at that level. And so what we're encouraging is the primary support team to contact our internal project managers that work specifically with each client and Lynn very early in the process and get that support feedback going. That's the way they will learn more about each individual client and the great history that Lynn has with the company. He's been with us since the early 90s when we got started. So he knows the software inside and out, and we're going to make sure he's involved in the support so that you, the clients, can get the support you need. And we want to encourage each of you to contact your primary support team. Contact those guys, get to know them, talk to them, let them know your concerns so we can make sure we understand what's needed and we can make sure that we are very responsive to your needs. So based on that survey, as well as things we've already been working on, we put together a set of strategic objectives. And I'm going to go briefly through those with you so you can see how those relate to the survey and to what we found out there, as well as just understand the direction that Agile Assets is going. Our first objective is to establish sustainable growth and talent management. As I showed you, we've grown significantly, and we must be able to control that growth and make sure we maintain quality in our software and services. So that is a major strategic objective for us. Another is to continually improve the Agile Assets software product. If it's going to be the world's best and most widely used, we need to always be listening to you, our clients, to the industry, to what's happening in the research that's coming out in infrastructure asset management. Make sure we keep our software at the forefront of both asset management technology and computer and software technology. We want to develop an effective sales and marketing program because there's a lot of benefit in this software. We want to share that with other agencies, with other groups within your agencies. The more integrated the system can be, the better we can benefit your agency. When you have bridge management, maintenance management, pavement management, all sharing the same database, all sharing the same common data, being able to go to that asset trade-off analysis and have common base analyses, common information to be able to make global decisions, you're going to get the best possible use of the software. So we want a sales and marketing program that's able to communicate that effectively and get the word out there. Then we want to make sure that our clients are happy and satisfied. So we are developing an integrated client management strategy to maintain close contact with you. Again, I mentioned the client management group we've set up. Steve Varnado will be talking with each of the clients as he gets more involved in the industry. We've got a lot of clients, and he's just gotten started. So if he hasn't been to your agency yet, expect a visit from Steve in the near future. And then we want to be industry thought leaders for infrastructure asset management. We've got a lot of PhDs and very smart people in civil engineering and in software and in management sciences. And so we want to use that technology. We want to make sure that we lead the industry in the knowledge of how to best do this, so we can then put that into our software and make sure it's available to you, our clients. And then in order for our company to stay healthy, to continue to grow, to continue to provide the service to you, we want to make sure we manage our company's performance in a good manner that we can stay healthy and profitable. So I'm going to go through briefly some of the goals that fit within each of these major strategic objectives. So relative to establishing sustainable growth and talent management, we want to recruit and retain top talent. And we want to continually improve our relationships with our employees so that they're happy and productive. We want to implement integrated talent management for each employee, and we've undertaken that through, Marnie has helped us put forth a very powerful Success Factors is the name of the software that allows us to have a talent management strategy throughout the company that is focused on each individual's goals and objectives and how it relates to the corporate goals. We're continually improving our corporate and IT administration, how we administer the company and our IT infrastructure so that we can function efficiently. And we're institutionalizing what we call AgileAssets University, and that is our training arm, the ability to provide training internally to our new staff as they're being onboarded and growing through the company, and to provide training and support to you, our clients. We want to be able to integrate our sales forecasts, our demand planning, and our software delivery of projects so that as new projects come on board, we have well-qualified staff ready to take those on. And when we're growing rapidly, that can be a challenge sometimes. So that is an area that we want to continue to improve, and we want to institutionalize the use of demand planning for company decisions, hiring decisions, moving decisions, where we put people to best serve our clients. We want to also build out an alliance partner program. We have a very strong partner in Alan Kircher Engineering. He's helped us implement a number of systems. We're also beginning work with a couple of other alliance partners that are here at this conference. So we want to continue to focus on improving that. Because our bottom line is we want to and we must deliver all projects on time, within budget, and with elated clients. That's a key. So in terms of continually improving the software product, we've established a more formalized product management group. Charles Pilson is now heading that up, and I will, if I have time, I'll talk to you briefly about some of the activities there. But one of them is to create a product roadmap so we know where the product is going over the next 5 to 10 years, and we can communicate out to the market and to you. We want to create a gold standard schema. That is the standard that we start with in all projects, and a schema that we can implement without making a lot of changes for clients that don't want or don't need something configured to their particular needs. Then we want to be able to maintain that product roadmap over time. The industry's changing, your needs are changing, so we need to continue to modify and update where the software will go. Then we, of course, software development needs to implement the roadmap developed by product management. And we're moving towards more and more hosting and providing software as a service to the clients to make it easier to access and use the software, and easier for us to maintain the software in a controlled environment. We're going to establish best practices-based software quality assurance so that the testing and delivery of upgrades is improved. We're going to continually improve our software documentation and investigate how we can streamline a multi-tenant software as a solution, software as a service solution for the broader market of cities and counties and smaller agencies. In terms of sales and marketing, we want to establish improved proposal processes, expand the business development team, effectively use metrics and dashboards to be able to understand what's happening, establish new alliance partners that can help in not only delivering the software but also in obtaining new clients, generate better web contact and internet presence so that we can be out there and everybody in the industry knows what we're doing, and be able to create a value proposition for each module. As I mentioned, we intuitively know they provide value and return on investment, but help to quantify those. We're going to be looking at more city and county markets and more international markets as well. And then designing the marketing for the multi-tenant software as a solution and engaging all prospective clients. So in terms of executing an integrated client management strategy, we want to engage all of our existing AgileAssets clients, as I mentioned before. Make sure that we understand how you're using the software, where we can help you improve your use of the software. And then foster relationships with all new clients. As we're coming on board, make sure we get that relationship started well and moving in the right direction. And then one goal was to deliver the best user group conference to date. And so far, I think it's going very well. Certainly the largest attended. I believe it's one of the best venues we've had. So I'm very pleased, and I want to thank every one of you for attending and helping us to achieve this particular goal. We want to develop and maintain an appropriate process quality manual within the company, and maintain high to excellent product and client support levels, as well as additional license sales and services to existing customers, because again, the more we can use the same basic technology across all of your assets, the better decisions we'll be able to make, and the better we'll be able to maximize the public benefits. In terms of being industry thought leaders, we're going to expand our internet presence with webinars and blogs to be able to advertise what's going on in the industry and what's going on at AgileAssets. We want to participate even more heavily in infrastructure asset management related committees at TRB, task groups, ASHTO, conferences, and we want to also do some international conferences that we're participating in. We're also going to hire, and we already have hired and are beginning the training and mentoring of another optimization specialist. Tonya Scheinberg has been our optimization specialist since the early 90s, has been instrumental in the development of the advanced analytics that are in our current software, and we want to continue to have that move forward. And she's still going to be with the company for a while, but she, is looking at retirement in the not too distant future, so we want to make sure that we have some continuity and that she can have some new blood, if you will, to come in and help continue to improve those analytics, which keep our software at the forefront of technology and providing the maximum value for your investment. We want to publish more TRB papers and white papers describing and highlighting the benefits of the AgileAssets analyses, so you can understand what it's doing and how powerful it is. It is the best analysis in the industry, and we want to make sure people understand that and understand how it's doing it. And then support the software designs for these analytical or specialized functionality based on this state of practice research. And then finally, we want to make sure the company stays healthy, and I know you want to make sure we stay healthy so that we are around for a long time to support your implementations. You've invested a lot of time, energy, and money into this infrastructure asset management, and we want to make sure that we're here for a long term to support you and continue to improve and enhance. So we'll progressively manage our contracts to make sure that they're successful, establish and manage KPIs and dashboards throughout the company so everybody knows where we stand, keep our budgets and budgeting process intact, keep our accounting system updated and maintained, and make sure that we're compliant in our taxes and our audits, that we get every year an audit to make sure that we're following the rules and that everything is copacetic. So that is kind of an overview of our strategic goals. And one of the things that we have highlighted now is improved product management. And so I'm going to spend just a couple of minutes talking about what we've done in product management and where we're going to continue to keep that product at the forefront of technology. So in terms of what we've done, updating the enhancement process and improving product management itself. We got started at the end of last year and updated the process and workflow for enhancements. I don't expect you to read this graph down here, but this just shows how we've outlined the flow of input from the clients or from other areas and how we're going to work the enhancements through the system to get them designed, developed, tested, and released out into the client. We're aligning ourselves with similar software product companies. So we want to make sure that we know what the state of the art, the state of the industry is in product management. So we've researched various methodologies. We're getting input from outside sources and beginning to mature our own processes within AgileAssets. And product management has some definitions that we've looked at. Product managers often translate business objectives into engineering requirements. Conversely, they may work to explain the capabilities and the limitations of the finished product back to marketing and sales so that that information can be communicated accurately out to the market. And the aim of product management is to know and understand the customer so well that the product sells itself. So that is where we're striving. And what Charles likes to say is product management is kind of the intersection between software development, professional services, business development, and quality assurance. He's the little circle right in the middle where they all meet. Right in the crosshairs. Some of the activities that we undertake is looking at market problems. So what are the problems in the market we need to solve? What is the competitive landscape out there? What are our competitors doing that we want to keep abreast of? How will that affect our product portfolio and our product roadmap? How are we going to build it out in the future? And there are many other areas, but those are some of the critical ones. So by maturing the various activities that make up product management, such as business development, the product owners, product management, and software development, there's a flow of information that we get, and it is coordinated so that we can provide input in the right areas, get the information put into designs for the software developed, and back out to the market as quickly as possible. We have to look at things like market problems, competitive landscape, the product portfolio, distribution strategy, the roadmap, and business plans, but that also relates to the technical design, the user interface and user experience, the architecture, the coding, and the testing of the software. All have to be taken into consideration. So where are we going? Well, some of the specific activities we're working on is concentrating on the market problems that we need to solve, understanding our current product portfolio, how we're distributing the information or the software it is out to the market, and developing and maintaining our roadmap. So where do we get sources of the information of what we need to put in the software? Certainly from you, the clients. That's probably our biggest source of input as to what you want to see in the software. But also from the industry, what's happening at TRB and at AASHTO and out in other industry. Requirements that we see from RFPs come in. We take those into consideration. We try to keep a watch on what our competitors are doing, make sure that we're incorporating at least as good as they're doing. We look at what the software technology industry is doing to make sure that we have the best computer technology. And then we look at ourselves, internal people that work for the company and our integrators and alliance partners, the ideas that we generate from working in the industry. That's where all of our ideas and sources come from to feed the product. Currently we have 27 products. Some are much more developed and implemented than others, but we are looking at how we can use each of these. Now, some of them may go away. If we don't have clients that are interested in them, then they may not be maintained. But most of these we have seen some significant interest in. And we're expanding our distribution strategy. As I mentioned before, we're already hosting a number of our clients. We're looking at providing software as a service and being able to have different implementation models. So far, we've almost always been the I tell you, and then the I being the client telling us, AgileAssets. That's where the client tells us how they want the system configured. This is the way we do business, and we would like your system to work this way. Well, that's a good way. That allows us to work with you the way you need to work. But it's also expensive. It takes time and effort, and we need to configure the software. But that's what the software was designed for. But what we're seeing now in this tight economy and in some of the later adopters of the systems, they don't really know what they want. They're kind of saying, well, you're the experts. Give us something that you know works. So we're looking at more the you tell me model, where Agile Assets will use best practices, things we've learned from you, our early adopter clients, to develop templates and provide solutions that work for the later adopters that just want to say, just give me what works, put it in, and let's get going with it. So we're looking at expanding our delivery model to that. So we're continuing to expand our system foundation. The user interface and the user experience is very important, so we're going to be focusing on that. We're continuing to improve our integrated GIS capabilities. It's so important. Everything we deal with is spatially oriented. Show them on maps. We want to allow the recording of configuration scripts to promote to production, and creating this gold standard schema. That's going to help us to provide the later adopters with this standard configuration. Make it easier to implement and to move into the mass market. Some of the new products, I'll wrap up with this. Mobility Analyst. We talked about that a bit yesterday. That is a product that we're very encouraged about. We're working with North Carolina to define and develop that product. We already have a safety analyst product that is implemented in Israel and has been looked at by a number of states here in the United States. And once we get the mobility, along with the safety, the pavement, and the bridge and the maintenance, those are all of the main inputs into the trade-off analysis. We'll have all of the major legs of the stool, the condition, the preservation of the infrastructure, the mobility of the system, and the safety of the system. The bridge inspection is a product that we are currently working on very heavily with New York DOT and expanding that. Right-of-way and utilities manager, we're expanding the capabilities there for West Virginia. A rail crossing manager, and of course the mobile strategy, the mobile software that we've talked about. So with that, I am happy to take any questions. I've kind of run right to the limit of my time though, but if there are any questions, I'd be happy to take a couple. All right, well thank you very much. I appreciate your time.